Are you thinking about selling your home but you're worried about where you're gonna buy next? You are not alone. Buying and selling a home at the same time can feel overwhelming. But guess what? It doesn't have to be. Let me show you how to do it without the stress. Number one is know your numbers. You need to understand your equity. How much can your home realistically sell for? And how fast? And how much of that money will you need for your next purchase? I always recommend getting a free home value estimate from a realtor. So now you take that home value estimate, you subtract your mortgage balance, any closing costs that you might have to pay, realtor commissions, and then you'll arrive at a net number that you will walk away from the table with at closing. Once you have an idea of that number, then I suggest you talk to a local lender, me being one of them, about your purchasing power. Strategy number two, sell first, buy second. This gives you the cash you need to avoid having to carry two mortgages. But then you have to find a place to live while you find a new home. So moving twice kind of sucks. That brings me to my next strategy. Buy first, then sell, if you can qualify. Some homeowners are in position to be able to carry two mortgages, which gives them a ton of flexibility. There are bridge loans and other financing options that allow you to tap into your equity so that you can use that money to purchase your next home. If you can qualify, it's a great way to avoid feeling rushed. On to our next one, a tricky but doable strategy. In some markets, typically buyer's market, you can make an offer on a home and sign a contract contingent upon the sale of your home. Again, this typically works well in buyer's markets. But if you're remaining in New York, it could be a little tricky because we have a lack of inventory and most sellers do not like contingent offers. So having a strong real estate team guiding you is a key piece to the process. One of the issues in New York is that closing dates are very broad. Let me explain. On the contract, you have what's called an on or about closing date. In essence, this gives the buyer an additional 30 days to close on the home. And attorneys are not very accustomed to following up so much and not giving the buyer an extension in order to obtain their financing. If you're purchasing, let's say in Florida or Georgia, their contracts are written very differently. Your closing date is your actual closing date, and you have to make that deadline. So you have a situation in New York where it's very broad and difficult to really push a buyer to close. And then you have a situation in other states that the date is the date and you need to close on that date. So this leads to a tremendous amount of stress. Now, if you price your home right and get a ton of demand, you can ask your attorney to use what is called on or before language, which means that they need to close on or before a certain date. Now, it's critically important that all parties are aware of this language in the contract. Most buyers might feel a little anxious about signing this type of agreement, but if there's no inventory and you have multiple offers on your home, that's a great strategy you can use to make sure that you close before you need to close on your new home. My suggestion is work with an expert team. Timing everything perfectly takes strategy, market knowledge, and most importantly, expert negotiation. The right real estate agent and mortgage team can help structure a deal that minimizes stress, whether you're staying in New York or moving out of state. I know this process can feel overwhelming and you don't have to do it alone. I've put together a step-by-step guide that breaks down the best strategies for buying and selling a home at the same time, specifically for New Yorkers. Click the link below, fill out the form, and I'll send you the guide so you can make the move with confidence and less stress.